They do a lot of really good things. Just preliminary, just watching them the last couple days. I think they move around a lot. They show some different fronts. They got some good guys with some talent up there. A lot of guys kind of know the system, do it well. That Mike linebacker, you can tell he's in control of that system, and I think they do some good things. So we're gonna have to scheme them up. We're gonna have to be ready for anything. And make sure that any situation, whatever it is, whatever kind of movement they try to throw at us, we got to be able to weather the storm and work with that, because they like to move around and try and change things up for you, make things look a little cloudy. So we just gotta be ready for whatever and go out there and rock them off the ball.
Well, you're third in the country in passing efficiency. I'm sure winning games is the most important thing, but as a quarterback, is passing efficiency kind of the number one stat you look at? If not, what is?
Yeah, the only stat I look at is win and losses, man. I don't really care. But that means I'm playing good ball, and if that means I'm taking care of the football and distributing it well and getting completions, then that's a good thing. And I think stats like that, I don't really focus on them. They kind of come. Just kind of play my game, take it one play at a time, and if I do my job and I do what I have to do, then that number should look good. And I obviously want to be better. But I think it's solid. But there's still stuff to improve on.
When you were in the spring going through stuff, going through the ones defense, is there a moment that stands out to you that you realize how good Caleb Downs was?
I don't know if there's one moment that stands out to me, but man, that dude's a hell of a football player, man. Just watching him every week, the way that he comes downhill and hits dudes and fills holes is pretty different. I've never really seen a guy be able to do that, from a safety position. And he's just the way that I was talking to somebody, I don't think I've ever seen him miss an open field tackle. I mean, obviously knock on wood, but the dude's pretty special. And, he's obviously really good in pass coverage too. And he's as smart as they come. He's one of those guys that just knows ball and just is a he just loves it, and he's all about it, and he's one of those guys. I remember after he made that tackle, in the open field on Saturday, I was like, man, I'm glad he's on my team, because he's a hell of a player.
As a quarterback, I know sometimes it can be a chess match between quarterbacks and safeties. From your perspective, how does a guy like that impact what a quarterback can and can't do on a football field?
Yeah, you play the game a little bit, and especially when you're going against somebody for every single day of fall camp and spring ball, then you kind of know how to play the game with each other a little bit, play that chess match. Obviously we didn't get a ton of it just because we only had 1 year together, but it's fun, man. I like doing that. I think it's it makes the game more fun. The chess match of it, and just kind of seeing where he's going. Me trying to mess with his eyes, him trying to mess with my eyes. It's something I try to do in games, looking guys off, whatever it may be, kind of feeling their rotation before the snap. But I get to go against the best every single day, so they get me ready for whatever I'm going to see week in and week out.
Will, when you decided to come here in January, you talked about wanting to go somewhere where you feel like you would develop into a top-round draft pick. When you arrived in Columbus, where did you think that you most needed to get better at, and how do you feel like you've gotten a lot better now today compared to where you were at in January with regards to your draft process?
For me, I feel like a lot of it just had to deal with consistency, and I feel like everything that I had been told was that I'd shown flashes of everything. I'd shown flashes of throwing the deep ball well, but hadn't been really consistent. I'd shown flashes of throwing on the run well and making good decisions on third down and in pressure situations, but it wasn't all the time, and I feel like coming here, it was like, how can I just be as consistent and as, mature as I can possibly be? And I think that's really where my game has evolved, is just, the consistency part, and just trying to be, take things one play at a time, and not trying to be, not trying to make things happen, just letting it happen. I think a lot of it's been the coaching that I've gotten here, and just the different things that they emphasize, and the things that Coach Kelly and Coach Day are hard on me for a little different than what I've been coached on before in the past. Like, just my footwork and making sure that everything's, timed up the right way and that I know everything that's going on, on every pass play, and I have a plan and I have guys I'm looking at. And I think just in every way my game has gotten better, and I attribute that to, the coaching that I've gotten and just the competition I've gotten to go against every single day.
How much does footwork factor into that consistency and being able to be a more consistent quarterback? Is it all boiled down?
A ton, yeah. It's a lot of it. I mean, obviously it's not all of it. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think that it's a big part of it, and I think that as consistent as your feet can be, and it gives you a firm base, and as long as you have those feet underneath you, and you're able to time things up well, you're able to be on balance at all times, like things like that, little things that you don't even really think about when you're watching tape or you're just a normal fan watching. Things like that are super important.
We'll go fourth row, Noah.
This is your first home ranked game as a Buckeye. What are you expecting the atmosphere to be like this weekend?
I'm excited, man. I hope that and I'm confident that Buckeye Nation's going to show up. But if I can say anything, man, we need y'all. We need Buckeye Nation to be loud. I know it's a noon game. Obviously, everyone has their thoughts on that, but man, look, it's when we're going to play. So show up, be loud, because we've played two of these games in opposing road games, and this is the first time that we're able to host a game and have that advantage of the crowd noise and the environment be on our side. So I'm excited to use that advantage. I really haven't felt like we've needed it yet at home, but this Saturday we're definitely going to need it. Top 5 matchup. We want to overwhelm them with noise and be the loudest, hardest place to play in the country. And we say that we want the shoe to be that place, but we need to come through and be loud. And I just encourage all of Buckeye Nation to show up, be loud, be early, and because we're gonna need you guys, and you guys are the best fans in the country. So let's do it.
How do you think already having those experiences in the 2 top 5 games will help you and the rest of the team this weekend specifically?
I think it'll help a ton. I think we've seen it from both sides. From how to what not to do and what to do. I think we learned from that Oregon game going into the Penn State game and how to finish a game. But I feel confident that we've seen it, we've done it. We've been in these big games. I've played in a lot of them myself. And this year this team is seasoned. I think we played in 2 of these games now, and this is another big matchup game. But what we say is it all boils down. It can come down to one play, and we gotta be ready for whatever. Gotta have a great week of preparation and just let everything take care of itself.
Right, Adam K.
When you look at this offensive line, they've had a few games now to play where they are. How do you think they're meshing in your eyes? How are you connecting with it now and moving forward? How ready is that unit for this match?
I think they're doing a hell of a job, man. I couldn't say enough good things about them. I really don't think they've skipped a beat. Everyone's talking about how different it is and how that we're shuffling guys around, but to me it's the same group, man. It's the same group of O linemen. Maybe it's a new face here and there. Carson's playing guard now. Donnie's playing tackle. But Carson's played a ton of football. Donnie's played a ton of football. They've had to adapt to their new roles. But I never skipped a beat with those guys, man. I'm so proud of them and how they're kind of meshing into their new roles and taking over, kind of the confidence of it. And I think they really started, when we started running the ball in that game on Saturday, it was really that O-line just kind of started taking over. And, when those guys are able to take over a game, like, we're going to be hard to beat, and I'm proud of those guys, man. I just need them to continue to maul guys up front and play the brand of football that we want to play. And, I think they're doing a heck of a job, and I'm excited to see what they do in this big matchup because they know they got a challenge, but, I'm excited for them.
Cameron T. Robinson.
Well, kind of going back to the consistency you were talking about, from whether it's the work you did in the offseason with Jeff Christensen or the time you put in with Coach Day and Coach Kelly, how much more confident of a passer from all three levels do you feel like you are from maybe where you were when you came here or before you started working with Jeff?
Yeah, I feel a ton more confident, man, just overall. I feel like I've really settled into this offense, and, I got guys around me that make plays and make my job easy. Taking, there were a couple times I took check downs that went for 8 to 20 yards on Saturday, and when you're able to do that, it's just keeps us on track. And I think that's been one of my biggest things is that I've gotten better at taking check downs and handing the ball on RPOs and not trying to force things and just kind of, saying, all right, it wasn't there then, next play, and we'll come back and run it again if we want to hit the deep shot, but just kind of being, caught, I want to say picking and choosing when to take those shots and when to, when to kind of hold it back. But I think at the same time, just with the work I've put in terms of my mechanics and in terms of my footwork, I just feel like, I don't really think about making those throws anymore. I just kind of make them, and it just kind of happens,
When you talk about those mechanics, how much did working with Jeff help even just tweak some of the small things that maybe you were doing at Kansas State that you maybe aren't doing here?
Yeah, it helped a bunch, and he's my mechanics guy. He helps me, with any little tweak I need. Different things I need during the week. I'll call him if I need anything. But he's been great. He's given me little tidbits here and there, and he's gotten me to a point where I just feel really confident ripping the ball and throwing it, and I don't feel like I have to do anything special. I can just kind of let it happen and trust my mechanics and my training, and a lot of credit to those people that have helped me get there.
Well, I know you're not scouting Indiana's offense all that much, but just curious what your thoughts are on Curtis Rourke, their quarterback. He's just a really efficient guy as well. Like, you guys are like basically at the top of the charts in terms of efficiency. Just curious as like a fellow passer, if you've seen highlights of him or watched him, just what do you think of this season?
Yeah, I haven't watched him a ton. I knew he was a great player coming out of Ohio. I know Will Kazmarek played with him there. And has nothing but good things to say about him. I haven't got to watch him all that much, but just looking at his stats, it seems like he's been really efficient, really smart with the football. Does some good things. So I know our defense is ready for the challenge, and they know they're going to have to be disciplined. And I know Curtis, he's good at taking the checkdowns too, and he's a smart player, and he does what he has to do to keep the chains moving. So as much as we can on defense, we're going to have to stop them on third downs and keep the ball in our hands and not let them, control the possession, too much, because I think that's something they'd want to do. But I haven't watched him a ton, but got a lot of respect for him and what he does.
Stay in the front row, Austin Ward.
What did you think your best throw on Saturday was?
I got to say that one down the middle to G. I just think I just kind of let that thing rip, and that's a throw we practice all the time, and I felt like that one. I was kind of ready for that. I'd actually thrown it during the week and was a little late on it. It was BI down the middle of the field, but I was in 7-on-7 I think on Wednesday, and I was just a little late on that throw. And on that one I just got my eyes backside a little quicker. The safety got over top of Carnell, so I knew I was working G, and a guy with his. We always talk about, a defender running with his back turned means he's open. So just gave him a chance, and I like that one. I like the one to Carnell in the corner of the end zone. I don't know. I mean, as much as anything that's a first down, touchdown. I'm not really picky, but I did like that one.
We'll wrap it up with the rebuttals.
You and Indiana transfers have been instrumental for both of you guys' success. For you guys, you and Caleb and Quinshawn and Seth, how important has it been to be able to fit into the culture? I mean, that culture fit has got to be so important. What do you think has been the key for you guys to be able to do that?
It is, and I think it talks a lot to the guys that were here and also the guys that came in and how we kind of, tried to adapt to the culture. And we didn't try to bring in our own, individuality or, anything. I think a lot of us kind of dropped our feelings at the door and said, all right, we want to be a part of this, let's do it. And, none of us came in with any, real egos or anything like that. I think it was just, you kind of drop your ego at the door and you say, hey, I want to be a part of this and I want to do this the way that we're doing it. And, I think Coach Mick has a lot to do with that and shaping the culture of this team. And I think the work that we put in the offseason, in the winter, the summer, all the stuff that we did, the mat drills and all that stuff, like that just shaped us and kind of brought us closer together and made me feel closer to my teammates here. And, when you go through stuff like that, I think we had one of the hardest, off seasons that we've had here, and probably in my career, probably one of my hardest off seasons. When you come in and you got a culture that's so defined already, and you got guys that are, so invested in it, like Jack Sawyer and guys like JT that have been here for years, and G. Scott and Trey and Mech and all these guys, I could go on. And, they've cemented this culture, and we came in and we said, we want to be a part of this. However it is, and we respect the way that we do things around here. And I think it speaks a lot to the character of the guys that came in and also to the guys that, were here and established this culture.
You're playing another team, another week that's coming off an off week, an extra week of preparation. How different is it facing a defense that has had that week to add new things? Have you noticed a significant difference?
Not really. No. I mean, yeah, they have an extra week, but that's not something we can control. So, if they want to show something new, they can. And, we've, as the Buckeyes, have kind of gotten used to that. I feel like, we kind of see something new every week from guys. They don't want to play us straight up. They don't like to, just show us the same stuff that they've been showing every year. We understand we're the Buckeyes. We may get some different looks, and that's just the part of, being here and playing and being a part of this. So, I think we're just going to have to go out there and see how they're going to play us. And really those first couple drives are big, and seeing, how they kind of want to go about this game and whatnot, and what pressures they're going to bring, how they want to play us, and go from there.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Go Bucks.